The question and answer session of this conference call will start in a moment. In order to be fair to all callers who wish to ask questions, we will take one question at a time from each caller. If you have more than one question, please request to join the question queue again after your first question has been addressed. Please press star 1 to ask your question. And the first question comes from Dick Wei. Please ask your question.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for taking my questions. My question is on iQIYI. Can management talk more about the impact on iQIYI consolidation into the financial numbers? I guess first of all, I'm not sure if you can share about the revenue contribution, and was it booked on the other revenue or other services line? And also some of the cost items, for example, bandwidth cost was up like 25% sequentially. Was it due to iQIYI as well? And lastly, Jennifer mentioned about this 1% impact in operating margin. Was it on a 1-month basis, or was it more on the 3 months or on a annual ongoing basis? Thank you.
Hi, Dick. As I just stated, in the Q4 of 2012, we completed the iQIYI transaction, and iQIYI's financial beginning on December 1 was consolidated. So the full fourth quarter financial reflects 1 month consolidation of the results of iQIYI. Specifically to your question, iQIYI's revenue contribution to the top line in comparison to the large scale of our business is very small. However, in terms of category, it does have 2 categories. One is most of their revenue is online marketing revenue, as would be included in our general category of online marketing revenue. There's also our other revenue that you would see in this Q4 P&L. This is basically related to some of the copyrights that iQIYI is allowed to redistribute some of the content to other players. And this is not categorized as online marketing revenue. And you would get a glimpse of the quality of basically the categories of the revenues from iQIYI. Overall, the contribution is very small. Bandwidth cost, to your question, does impact the overall sequential increase for Q4. If you look at our bandwidth sequential increases over the past few quarters, that give you the idea of the magnitude of Baidu's own business, how that has been migrating, and there has been additional increase because of the iQIYI consolidation. Having said that, I would say majority of the sequential bandwidth increase is because of Baidu's own business, not iQIYI. Bandwidth as a single item for iQIYI, of course, as you can appreciate for online video business, is a meaningful item. And going forward, as we look at bandwidth, as I said, we will continue to invest in infrastructure, and with bigger server farms and more traffic that needs to be handled, you should continue to expect bandwidth to increase over the next year, over 2013, and on top of that would be the impact of iQIYI as well. So I hope that gives you a glimpse of the bandwidth in itself. The 1% I mentioned about the impact for Q4 is a 1-month impact of iQIYI. So if you could, if you want to refer that to get a fuller glimpse of the whole quarter, I think you can do the math on your own. And that would be indicative of iQIYI's overall margin impact to the Baidu whole book.
Okay. And your next question comes from Alicia Yap. Please ask your question.
Hi, good morning, Robin, Jennifer, and Victor. Thanks for taking my questions. My question is regarding the ARPU. So can you explain or clarify the reasons why the ARPU for the quarter experienced a slight sequential decline? Was that mainly due to challenging economic environment, or was that related to available of a new alternative player? And how should we estimate this trend going forward? Will the high single-digit growth of ARPU is more reasonable going forward instead of the double-digit previously? Thank you.
Hi, Alicia. As you would have observed the trend over the past few quarters, we've been very successful in adding the number of customers to our platform. Most of the addition was developed in the SME business, the small, medium-sized businesses, and our sales force has been very effective in executing that focus for our workforce this year. Many of the additions, because they are small businesses and particularly developed in second and third tier cities, their spending power is not as it used to be. If you recall, in 2011, we did benefit significantly from tremendous growth in the large customers' account, and so the year-on-year ARPU number would be somewhat affected by that. Having said that, you are also aware that the whole industry, including our customers, are migrating over to are seeing the transition to mobile. And so our sales force, our focus in 2013 is to ensure that we provide the right service and support to our customers, current customers, to continue to help them get the kind of desired ROI they're looking for, and also educate them about the benefit of mobile platform going forward. So that is basically the driver for the ARPU trend, and we will continue to be very focused on deliver high-quality service to these SME customers.
Okay, so can I follow up on that? So with the more focus of the sales force driving to the mobile platform, will that also kind of indicate a little bit lower ARPU, given mobile may be a little bit lower conversion?
The ARPU, Alicia, the ARPU is based on the combination of desktop search and mobile search. So I would not think that mobile would necessarily negatively impact the ARPU. Overall, it should be incremental to the customer spending.
Okay, great. Thank you. Get back to the queue.
And your next question comes from Chi Sang. Please ask your question.
Hi, thank you for taking my question. Just a couple of things. I'm wondering now with you folks have Qi firmly in control, I'm wondering if you can talk about your strategy going forward, whether it's sort of increased monetization potential or sort of increase your library. And secondly, clearly you guys are focused more on M&A this year. Following the debt deal, the first thing you did was consolidate and take control of Qi. I was wondering if you can give us a better idea of what sort of transactions might make sense for you this year as it relates to mobile, client software, things of that nature. Thank you.
Yeah, for the video, we obviously think that it's important to us, and it's also growing very quickly in terms of consumer time spent on the video, and we think we need to have a better control on that. So we will, for one thing, we will continue to aggressively invest in the video space to make sure that IT will continue to be successful. In terms of strategic areas, I basically covered a lot of them during the prepared remarks. There are verticals that we like a lot. Video is one, and travel is another. We are also looking at other or all kinds of verticals and continue to evaluate what the sector would make sense for us to gain more strategic hold. But overall, for the company, I think for 2013, mobile is probably the most important strategic area for us.
Thank you.
And your next question comes from Joying Shaw. Please ask your question. Joying Shaw, do you have your question? It seems there's no response from that line. Cynthia Meng, please ask your question.
Thank you. I have a question on mobile. Can management give more color on the percentage of revenue coming from mobile for right now, and also any guidance of what we should expect for 2013? And is mobile CPC lower than on the PC side? What is the percentage of mobile CPC as a percent of PC cost per click? Thank you.
We have mentioned in the past that the whole industry is going through a transition to mobile. It's a very exciting time for us all. But having said that, the users' habit and even our customers are continuing in that phase of migration. There hasn't been meaningful revenue that's contributed from the mobile, or even efforts on our side. And I think today a lot of the efforts is on the user side. And going forward, I think mobile affords tremendous opportunity because it does affords more accurate information for search engines, and it allows our customers to target their potential customers more effectively and accurately. But today it's too early to comment on the CPC trend or even the monetization power. It's very exciting, it's very promising, but as we said, the whole transition will take a couple of years to close the gap.
And your next question comes from Alex Yao. Please ask your question.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for taking my question. My question is about the mobile internet development in 2013. What are the key goals or targets you would like to achieve in 2013, and what are the resources that are necessary to achieve these targets? Thank you.
There are basically two goals for our mobile strategy. The first and foremost is obviously mobile search. We want to make sure that users have the best experience in mobile search on Baidu. So we have been aggressively investing in this area to make sure the mobile search will continue to be the main gateway to internet for most of the users going forward. It's in the very early stage of development. We are adding a lot of new features to our mobile search almost on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis. When I said early, I can give you an example. Mobile search is pretty much like mobile search this year is pretty much like 1999 for desktop search. On average, it took more than 2 seconds to return a search result for a desktop search at that time. Today, it's the same for mobile search. And even for this kind of slow response speed, consumers are moving quickly to the mobile device to get information. So we are very encouraged and excited, and we feel we need to invest to make sure we have the best search experience for our users. In addition to search, we are also investing in a mobile ecosystem. We are building all kinds of tools and service capabilities for all kinds of app developers so that they can quickly build up functionalities and serve their targeted customers. We believe by fostering a healthy and large and fast-growing mobile community, more content, more information, more data, and more services become available, on the mobile internet, people will become increasingly dependent on Baidu services. So we are investing in that front too.
And your next question comes from Jiong Shore. Please ask your question.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my question. I have a couple of very quick ones. Just for your iQIYI revenue contribution for your Q1, I was wondering, do you have a number you can give to us? How much of revenue from iQIYI you have embedded, factoring for your Q1 revenue guidance? And just following up on Robin's comments on mobile just a minute ago, would you be able to share with us now sort of roughly what kind of a traffic contribution from mobile or sort of a year-over-year, quarter-over-quarter rapid growth in mobile search queries? Thank you.
In terms of the iQIYI revenue contribution, as I said, with the backdrop of the overall Baidu platform business, iQIYI's business is really very immaterial in comparison. You do know that we do have the iQIYI and we also have the Qunar, and these companies we don't separate disclose because of the materiality test is not met. So that gives you an idea. I mean, they're not that much different per se in terms of revenue contribution, and therefore, the overall guidance that you're seeing predominantly is Baidu's main business, driven mainly by that.
For the mobile traffic, it's obviously growing at a much faster rate than the overall search market. So mobile search will represent an ever larger percentage of our total search traffic. But I figured it probably does not make sense for us to report this number quarter by quarter. The strategical direction is quite obvious. I think I will update you when the mobile search traffic overtake desktop search one day, and I think that will happen sooner rather than later. We just think that there is a lot of room for improvement for the mobile search technology, as well as for the overall mobile infrastructure, speed, cost of the bandwidth, all kinds of supporting technology, browser technology, operating system technology. All these kind of things will become better and better. So customers or users will search more on their mobile device. And also, there are other form of products or services that's closely related to mobile search. For example, the voice assistant product I talked about, although a lot of the requests are not really search, but there will be a very large percentage of the voice assistant traffic based on search. So consumers will have a lot more way to look for information or to search for information on the mobile. We will gradually consolidate all kinds of the traffic and make the overall search experience better, and hopefully we can better monetize that in the future.
And your next question comes from Jin Yoon. Please ask your question.
Yes, good morning. Just a couple of things. Can you talk about your traffic acquisition costs in the quarter? We saw a pretty significant sequential increase. First of all, how much of that is due to one-time cost or seasonality versus what's occurring? Second of all, with the traffic acquisition cost, how much of the increase is really coming from the likes of competition or from the likes of mobile? Now, that's my first question. My second question has to do with what comments that Robin made earlier, saying that mobile is not, I think you said that mobile is not impacting ARPU. Can you clarify that? Given the fact that mobile has lower CPCs, why wouldn't it have an impact on ARPU? Thanks.
Hi, Jin. On the traffic acquisition cost, you did observe that in Q4, the tag as a percent of revenue has stepped up. As I said earlier, the sequential increase is mainly due to contribution of contextual ads business as well as promotion for our products such as Hao 1, 2, 3. This is not seasonal. This is intended, as said for a few quarters now, that we are leveraging this union network to grow new business such as contextual business, at the same time to also dynamically managing the partner relationships to promote our own products such as Hao 1, 2, 3 and Baidu browser. So this is only really just starting. We are stepping up our tag as I indicated before. You should continue to expect that the tag rate is managed dynamically, and we are very ready to take advantage of this network to promote our products as well as grow new business. Very little of the tag is related to mobile, as we said earlier. Mobile monetization is really in its very early stage, and therefore the tag number that you're seeing has very little to do with mobile business.
Jean, just to give you more information on the mobile impact on ARPU, I think ARPU is decided by a number of factors, including our customers' budget, our inventory or traffic, click-through rate, and CPC. Budget is not negatively impacted by mobile, obviously, probably positively impacted. Although it's not obvious right now, but it should become obvious going forward. In terms of inventory or traffic, I think that mobile traffic is incremental to desktop search traffic, or it actually adds more inventory for our search traffic. The CPC is lower. Right now it's roughly half of the desktop search CPC, but click-through rate is not necessarily lower. So if you combine all this kind of information, I would see ARPU is not necessarily going to be negatively impacted by mobile.
And your next question comes from Andy Young. Please ask your question.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for taking my question. My question is, about your investment and M&A strategy. Given your strength, your financial strength, and your goal to build an ecosystem, can you give us some color on your organic growth and M&A strategy? How do you manage the division of labor between these two strategies?
As I said before, M&A is an important element to complement our organic growth. We have the leading market position in search technology, and that is our core competency. As the whole industry is looking into mobile, I think it's great to have the resources and ability and see the kind of innovative efforts in the industry that Baidu can invest in. So, and Robin mentioned earlier, our key strategic focus for 2013 is mobile. So if we are launching M&A efforts, that would follow our overall strategy. We have also in the past invested in key verticals, and so you can see that our M&A strategy is really to enhance our core competency, to capture the main verticals to help with the ecosystem build up, as well to invest in innovative companies which help us position ourselves in the new industry evolvement. So that is basically how we manage our M&A initiatives.
I just want to emphasize that acquisition is not our main growth strategy. We have a lot of room for growth for our, organic traffic, our own products, and we are also aggressively investing in building new products and technologies. Mobile acquisition will complement this kind of effort, but it's not going to be the main growth driver.
And And your next question comes from Piyush Mubayi. Please ask your question.
Good morning. Could I just ask about desktop search trends, both from a revenue perspective as well as actual search perspective? Thank you.
Desktop search has been soft during the past quarter, and we expect that trend will continue for the coming year. You may know that the new PC shipment last year actually had a decrease over 2011, and we are not so optimistic about the new PC shipments this year either. So desktop search will continue to be a very important way for people to find information, but the real growth side is on mobile.
I think it's important to note that ultimately we're providing search and information services regardless of the end user devices that's coming from. We do see queries coming from a wide range of new devices, and that continues to fuel the overall usage of Internet and the people taking advantage of search engine services.
And your next question comes from Eddie Leung. Please ask your question.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my questions. My question is more on iQIYI. Could you comment on the content investment trends in 2013? As we have heard different stories about the content cost trends in the industry. So I just want to get an idea on the investment amount as well as the content cost trend in the industry. Thanks.
Hi, Eddie. With the consolidation of iQIYI, we've separated the content cost line item. It is an important cost component for the online video business. And I think for some of the publicly listed companies, they provide an indicative trend in terms of content, and I think the market does have an expectation on how that looks like. And for us, I think the content, historically that has been mixed together with the operational expense line, operational cost line item, and I think if we look at those two line items together, as you look into 2013, its Q4 level will probably give you an indicative line level going into 2013. So specifically what I was saying is operational cost line item and the content cost line item, if you look at that together, the Q4 level should be indicative. Not necessarily meaningful to single out the content cost line item because Baidu's overall cost base is so huge.
Next question comes from Vaison Ling. Please ask your question.
On the iQIYI's content cost, I see that in Q4 the content cost is 120 million. Is that just for 1 month? If I were to think about extrapolating that, or do I think about the 215 million that is spent over the whole of 2012?
The 120 million, majority of that is iQIYI related. You would see that before the iQIYI consolidation, we do have some content cost, and this is related to some of the data, music and stuff like that we do acquire. I think that is a 1 month impact, but the 120 million is not all because of iQIYI.
Got it, thanks.
And your next question comes from Muse Lee. Please ask your question.
Hi, thank you for taking my question. I would like to ask the management to give some guidance for the margin trend going into 2013, and how should we model the sales and marketing and R&D expenses into the future? Thank you.
Right. Okay. As you know, we have been investing, and I indicated that very clearly earlier that in 2013 we have many great products that we look to aggressively promote through the different kind of channels. The SG&A expense as a percent of revenue in Q4, you would have already seen some of the efforts taking in shape. And historically, you have seen SG&A expenses scale with the fast growth of our business. In 2013, as we aggressively promote our readily great products, I would not expect the SG&A line to further scale. And that's on the SG&A expenses. On R&D, as I said earlier, that has been our focus in terms of investment, and that focus will continue to carry. We do plan some headcount increases, and if we look at 2013, predominantly that kind of human resources investment would be focused on R&D. And the Q4 R&D expense as a percent of revenue should be largely indicative for you as you look into the years out.
And your next question comes from Catherine Leung. Please ask your question.
Hi. Thank you for taking my question. My question is on the mobile monetization. I understand that you're testing Mobile Phoenix Nest, and so I'm curious, what are the main factors determining when you will officially launch the system, and how would you expect advertisers to allocate budgets after this is officially launched as we think about the proportion of traffic coming from mobile versus desktop? Thank you.
Mobile monetization is very early at this stage. We are experimenting all kinds of possibilities, like how many ads or promotional links we show on the search result page, and how do we display advertising information, or even how do we track conversion. All of these things are, moving pieces. It's very early for us to give you any guidance on the trends. What we know is that mobile traffic continue to grow very quickly. We wanted to build the best user experience first, and we will continue to help our customers to build up a mobile-friendly website or app so that their conversion will improve. As the ROI improves for our customers, they will allocate more budget to the mobile advertising space. Right now, our customers are given a choice whether they want their budget to be spent on mobile only, or both mobile and desktop, or only desktop. Many of them choose to spend both on mobile and desktop. It's just not many people really understand how to promote their product and services through mobile search or through their mobile site. So there's a lot of work that we need to do to make that a better channel for our advertisers and customers.
The next question comes from Wendy Huang. Please ask your question.
Hi, thank you. My question is mainly about the desktop search. I think in the past 1 year, we have seen Facebook launch the graph search, Google launch knowledge search, and also even seen Weibo integrated the Ring Social to do the social search. I just wonder what effort will you make on the PC front to defend your market share on the PC, and also to improve the user experience as well as the monetization further. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. We think search is still young. There are a lot of ways we can improve the user experience, and there's a lot of ways we can develop a new technology to make the desktop search experience better. let me give you a couple of the examples. For almost like 15, 20 years, search results looks like the same. You have a list of 10 links, title, summary, those kind of things. We figured in a lot of verticals we can serve the user's needs better by giving them different kind of information or different kind of display of information. That's what Aladdin was aimed for, but we figured there are a lot more user requests that can be met with a more diversified or versatile way of displaying this kind of information, including things like you just mentioned, knowledge graph. When you search for a celebrity name or a popular place that has a encyclopedia entry from Baidu, we can display those structured data in a more direct way to satisfy users' needs. There are also verticals, especially for those with commercial value, such as travel or e-commerce. There are much better ways to display information for our users instead of just a title and summary. So we are doing a lot of that these days, and you will find the Baidu search result will look very different, a year from now.
And your next question comes from Wallace Cheung. Please ask your question. Hey, Wallace Cheung, do you have a question? There's no response. We'll move on to the next. Richard G., please ask your question.
Thanks for taking my call. And can you comment on the revenue split between your large corporate customer as well as the SME? Especially, I'm also curious to know there are different type of growth rates, especially given the ad market start to stabilize. Should we expect a meaningful pickup from your large corporate customers and in terms of their ad budget allocation?
Hi, Richard. Historically, we have not publicly disclosed the split between SME and large customers, but I can tell you predominantly majority of our business has been coming from SME, and the split that we internally measure has been pretty consistent. There are a lot of efforts and initiatives that we can do on both the SME front as well as the large customers. You do notice that over the 2012 year period, we continue to develop the SME market, and that really just shows, how tremendous the market potential is and how effective our sales force can be. At the same time, on the large customer side, yes, I think the whole macro environment in 2012 was relatively depressed, but our sales force has been doing many different things with our large customers. The initiative that we mentioned with customers such as Ping An is really to explore not only just web search, but also take advantage of the whole media platform value of Baidu. And so there is vast potential that continues to be on our platform that's yet to be exploited. So we are working with the large customers, and they are very receptive to the idea of doing online marketing and through the Baidu's different kind of user products. And with experiments like that, we can really get to more of the large customers at budget. And so we do see, on both the SME and large customer side, there is a lot of initiatives and a lot of potentials for us to continue to grow our business.
We are now approaching the end of the conference call, and I will now turn the call back to Robin Li, Baidu's Chief Executive Officer, for his closing remarks.